brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today. Casey is with us in Amarillo, Texas to start this hour. Hi, Casey. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave and George. How are you?
Better than we deserve, brother. What's up?
Well, I'm a little embarrassed because this is really going to showcase my ignorance of the subject, but I've got a few questions about the national debt.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've heard, but we are in debt a little bit.
I heard the rumor.
Yep. So I've got three questions for you.
Okay.
The first one is, who do we owe this $33 trillion to?
Mm-hmm.
The second one is, why as a country did we borrow it in the first place?
Mm-hmm.
And the third one is it even possible or logical for our federal government to pay off this debt and operate debt-free?
Those are great questions. Well, who we owe the money to, or whoever bought the Treasury bills, are called T-bills. And the Treasury of the United States issues a bond, and if you buy that bond, then that means that if I buy a $100,000 Treasury bond, that means the United States of America owes me $100,000 if I bought that bond, and it pays me a certain interest rate. Now, I know they're never going to pay the bond, or if they do, they're going to pay it by issuing another one.
Yeah.
Okay, which is if it actually ever does come due, that's how they do it. They'll issue another set to cover the ones that are coming due. But I also know that I can sell that bond at any moment because the credit rating of the United States of America is still strong. Okay, so that's how they finance it. And the danger is when foreign countries or foreign entities of any kind, wealthy corporations in foreign countries buy up a bunch of that. That means the United States is in debt, say, to China, as an example. Deeply in debt to China. It's a little dangerous politically. But it's not like they can call the debt. It's not like they can repo Kentucky. So it's okay. So, but in that sense, it's not dangerous, but it's just kind of creepy. You know what I'm saying? So your second question was, your third question was, can we ever pay it off? Your second question was what? Why did we go in debt?
Yeah.
Well, we went in debt because like regular human beings, we spent more than they made. When the revenue coming in from taxes and other things won't cover the expenses of highways and military and $45,000 toilet seats and $1 billion to this country and $8 billion to that country in supplies, which we do pretty regularly. We give billions and billions and billions away overseas. When we don't have the income in a year, the amount that we're short revenue is not enough revenue to cover the outgo, the budget. The difference is called the deficit. And the amount that we borrow has gone up every year because we keep spending, not just spending more than we make, but every year spending more than we make. We raise the amount that we're going into debt. So when they say they cut the deficit, all that means is they didn't go over budget quite as much. That's all it means. So it's kind of an oxymoron on words. And then the last question is, can we get rid of it? Mathematically, we could. I don't think we have the political willpower to do it. Because as soon as you tell your Uncle Henry, who gets a subsidy because he runs a dairy farm from the U.S. government, that he's not going to get that subsidy anymore because we're cutting our expenses, then he's not going to vote for that congressman. And that congressman is going to get replaced by a congressman who will spend money like he's a drunken congressman, right?
Yeah.
And so the people won't. They don't. They want to. They in theory, a lot of people say, "I'd like to balance the budget. I'd like to get the income to at least equal where we're not going further in debt." But to do that would require cutting a lot of things out. And the problem is we're so far in debt now that a big portion of the budget is just the interest on the old debt.
Right.
And you can't cut that. You got to pay that. So where are you going to cut? You're going to cut giving, money in the Middle East, money in the Ukraine, money to this country, money to that country. There's a lot of people talk about that. Are you going to cut the military? I mean, those people don't get paid anything anyway. And they put their lives on the line for us. I don't know how to do that. It just requires this tremendous, the amount of hate that it would generate because of the number of lives it would touch to cut everything necessary to cut to get it down to balance. I don't know if anybody's got the political capital to pull that off. Either side. I think it'd be the last time that party existed right now, because people have gotten used to being on the government dole one way or another. They're used to the local government in my county is waiting on $14 million right now to build a highway or to redo a road that runs up beside one of my houses. And they've been waiting 5 years on that $14 million from the federal government, and they won't build the road until the $14 million comes. Meanwhile, the road's a damn goat track. It's awful. And so they're waiting on $14 million from the government instead of the local county handling their own business. And it's that way everywhere.
It's that times 1,000.
Waiting to do the bridge repairs until we get the government money, waiting to do this until you get the government. And so everybody's on the dadgum take, and nobody wants to say no. And saying no is the only way you balance a budget. When you do it at home, Casey, when I do it at home, the way I live on less than I make is I look at the kids and I say no. I look at my wife and we look at our budget and we go, we can't go on vacation. We're broke people. We got to not be broke people before we can go on vacation. We can't afford that car. Those bass are going to get away because I'm not going to have a bass boat with a motor that big because I can't afford to pay for it. This is what normal people do. We say no. But the federal government has absolutely no ability to say no because everybody wants them to say yes.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. It's not a math problem. You could actually cut taxes and revenues go up. Art Laffer proved that under Reagan. It's a statistical fact. It's not a political theory. So it actually worked.
Did you see Warren Buffett's method to solve this?
Yeah, and
it's a great quote.
Absolutely, yeah.
I said I could end the deficit in 5 minutes. He just passed a law that says anytime there's a deficit of more than 3% of GDP, all sitting members of Congress are ineligible for re-election. There you go. You lose your job unless you fix this.
Yeah.
There's one way to do it.
Because you redefine what winning looks like. What does winning look like as a congressman now? Giving everybody free money. And if you made it the only way you can stay is if you balance the budget. That's a new way of saying what winning looks like.
Hanging out with lobbyists
They
all
would
day.
learn the ancient word, no. No. You press your tongue towards the roof of your mouth. You release and let air go by. No. Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.